Yes, welcome back to Talking Turf. We're here for the next hour at least. And as always, we'll give you 60 seconds to grab a cup of tea or a pint, whatever you want, and allow Gary to finish his tea there because he's a hard-working man. He's just getting in from the gym there. See you in 60. Yes, welcome back to Talking Turf. It's me, Melly, and Gary Brubberton, as always. What a weekend that was. Not so good for Newcastle, obviously. Here's Chris Dobie straight in. How are the Champions League mags? Dobie, on a scale of 1 to 10, how devastated would you be, mate, right, if this scenario turns out? Man United finished 16th in the Premier League and get Champions League. And then Newcastle miss out and have to play a Conference League. Would you be devastated or would you not? You would, wouldn't you? Just like last season when we knocked out the Europa League place. Absolutely, honestly. They wouldn't have Man United's hated as much as they are, mind. Jesus.
We're just Newcastle's kryptonite, aren't we? We are. We just he's laughing.
He's laughing. I'm pleased he sees the funny side.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get straight into the I'd be effing raging, he says. Well, Friday night it started. Man City hosted Wolves, Gary, down at the Etihad. Pretty close in that game, to be fair. It ended 1-0. Kevin De Bruyne getting the only goal on 35 minutes. The stats, as you would expect, that he had 64% to 34%. City had 9 shots to Wolves 6. But only 2 shots on target, mate, scoring with one of them. So not what everybody expected, but City got the 3 points, what they needed to keep in the Champions League race. Did you see it, and how do you see that one, mate?
I am Cunha, obviously the Man United target. He's some player. He looks like he's playing for a new club. But City were going through the motions a little bit. Like you say, that they didn't create too much, but the kind of, I was looking control, I think. They're getting to that end of the season, they want to where they're just sort of, they know how to get out of the line, and that's it. It's massive. Like for Newcastle, they've obviously got Chelsea coming up. And then they've got Arsenal. So really tough running for the two and coming out, like massive 2 games.
City's remaining fixtures, Gary, is Southampton away, which is nailed on 3 points, really. They've got Palace in the FA Cup on the 17th. And then the end of the season, they've got Bournemouth at home and Fulham away. Fulham obviously pushing as well. No, they're not. Fulham are out of it. So Fulham really know to play for. City's sitting on 64 points now, though. So they're pretty much guaranteed on them and Arsenal. So it's really a fight for the last two spaces. You've got Newcastle, Chelsea, Forest and Villa separated only by 3 points maximum. So a win and a loss could mean the difference. You know what I mean?
It's more interesting than anything else, isn't it? This top 5 sort of thing. But Newcastle's got the hardest games, haven't they? I think.
I think so. I mean, we are going to come to the game.
It's in their hands. Because if they win them,
we cannot state how much. It's a massive game against Chelsea. Tyndall knows it. He said it to us on the plane. He says that's going to be the game that decides it, he thinks, because let's just have a quick look, right? Newcastle, they're obviously playing this weekend against Chelsea, but then they're going to Arsenal away. And if Arsenal haven't secured it and they get put out tomorrow night, then they'll be all for it. And the last game of the season is Everton at home. Everton are the draw specialists. So if it comes down to that game, I don't know. It's going to go to the wire. Either way, I think it's going to go to the wire. I cannot see Newcastle beating Chelsea this weekend. I think it'll be a draw. I
Chelsea's
think
probably, if you would look at the form guide, out of that top end of the table, I would pretty much say I think Chelsea's probably going to be top of it if you were to put form on.
Chelsea's won the last 4, mate. They beat Liverpool 3-1. They won in the Europe Conference League 4-1. Beat Everton and beat Fulham away from home. So, you're right. They are in the run of form. I think they'll get a draw at St James's Park this weekend. I cannot see Newcastle winning it. And then they're going to get down to
tough
Arsenal.
game for both teams.
Another tough game. So, I mean, it's wide open, isn't it? And that's the good thing about the Premier League, is that it can be like this. And hopefully it's like this for the title next year. Liverpool's kind of won a bad league, haven't they, really?
What do you think about Joe Linton, though? He's for the season, like for the rest of the season? That's massive for Newcastle, that, isn't it?
He's instrumental in the middle of the park. I think Xerxes is going to be very similar to Joe Linton. Similar players. They came in as forwards. They're not forwards. They hold the ball up really well. As anybody can push the ball up, push Joe Linton off the ball, mate. And he brings everybody into play. Gordon, Gomes, Tonali, the whole lot. He can do that. And that's where Newcastle have gained from, I think. It's like a new signing when they pushed him back into that midfield. So he will be a miss. I don't think Bruno, if somebody come in with 100 million for Bruno, you'd take their hands off. In my opinion. I think you've got a much better midfielder than Tonali. You've got young Lewis Miley coming through. You've got Joe Linton there. Just sell him. He's all about this, that. For me, Bruno, he'd rather win a foul than create a chance. You know what I mean? Tonali isn't like that. If he gets fouled, he's up in his way. He's wanting to create. He's wanting to score goals. Bruno's an actor. Sell him 100 million. The PIF, the world of good. That and Isak gone to Man United. The two can go and buy whoever they want.
Tough game of the weekend.
Tough game of the weekend. I will come to them. Aston Villa, it was also in the Champions League race, hosted Fulham. 1 goal again. Tielemans, who's had an absolutely outstanding season, by the way. Because I thought he was dead and buried and he was going to end up in the Championship. And then this season.
Free transfer, I'll hear me now.
I know.
Free transfer. Great signing.
Stats show that it was pretty even, 52 to 48%. Plenty of shots, 10 and 11, but only 3 each on target. But the main one is obviously the goal. Aston Villa get the win, keeps them in contention for the Champions League. How do you see that, Gary?
I picked Villa in the last man standing for obviously the Ben's football. But I always thought it was going to be a closest game, but Villa's finding a little bit of form. They've been good to watch, I think, this season, especially like the last sort of 5 or 6 games. They never got embarrassed even in the Champions League. They were really good to watch them, and it's exciting. Like even with 2-1 away to PSG, they got beat, but they did go in front, and then at home they put up such a fight to come back and then beat PSG. Remember, on the night, so I like them, and he rotates a lot.
Beat PSG, beat Newcastle obviously 4-1 in that decisive game.
So they're picking a bit of form up because they were up there, but then they dropped off for a bit. But then they brought some good signs in January, and that have all fit into the team and contributed.
But they want to hope, Villa want to hope that it doesn't come to the last game of the season, because I'm not going to
the mighty Man United.
Got the mighty Man United.
Thing is, we could sell the two no tier, couldn't we? Because we've got Chelsea and Villa. Amaron will just let them lie over and walk over.
It's a Europa League where Barterwood. Johnny Turnbull, Johnny Beasley in 2-2 Black and White Army. Jordan Campbell, we will have at least Europa League, but we'll beat Chelsea this weekend and get it done. I don't think you will, mate. Europa League and the Conference League, like I say, there's only 3 points difference. So if Villa, Forest, and Chelsea win their games in East Division, and obviously you get the Conference League through the FA Cup anyway. So I think then it would go to Bournemouth, or the team that's sitting in 8th, if I'm right. that's how I pick it up anyway. Christobi would beat Chelsea and Everton, but Arsenal a tough one. I'd have beat Chelsea. Like I think you probably beat Everton on the final day of the season in a push, but they are the draw specialist. And Chelsea, Forest play each other last game too. Whew. That's massive.
It is. So Chelsea's got a tough run in as well, then, haven't they?
So where they're playing at? Oh, they're playing at Forest as well.
That could be.
Chelsea could have that wrapped up though, Gary, couldn't they? They play the Toon. If they beat the Toon, and then they're playing us at home, they'll probably beat us. There's 6 points.
We'll be resting everyone, wouldn't we?
69. Aye. I mean, I'll still be there, like. Don't be saying, ha, 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 away giver. Well, that's obviously about Bruno. But Mark Laidlaw's come in and said he has a buyout clause of 130 million. No one will buy him for that. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, should I say. Even the Mackhams are good to watch this season compared to what yous have been watching. I wouldn't go that far, although they are doing well. And I fancy them to come up in the playoffs. And I would like them to come up, and you should like them to come up because, you know, I know you've won the Carabao Cup, but you've got to want that derby, haven't you, Gary?
Yeah, definitely. That's all it's about. I mean, you've got all your mates and that's gone off to the pubs at like 8 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that. That's what the derbies are for, man, isn't it?
Mint.
Not playing the mighty Man United.
I'll kill Wood for that game, didn't they?
Oh, they were coming out the woodwork,
didn't he?
He did.
Just for that game. But still everybody's cup final.
Mm-hmm.
And Everton 2, Ipswich 2. Moving on, Gary. Beto scores and then McNeil's 2-0, but Ipswich got a goal back before half-time. And then Hurst equalises for Ipswich in the 79th minute. I'm surprised that Ipswich have gone down, you know, because they've been so close on so many occasions, haven't they?
They have. They have.
And it's a
shame. Good goal though. They haven't been totally bad, have they? They haven't been
Southampton, have they?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Southampton fan. I can't remember what it was. I might have been doing Butlands. And he was saying it was a disgrace that they sacked the manager. You know, he says that we knew then that we were going to go down because that manager that brought them up had a little bit of a bumpy road. And their motto was to get rid of him, even though he brought them up, you know. And I think that's where they've gone wrong, mate. They've tried to come in and win it basically with the players that was in the championship with a new manager.
It's massive goal.
Massive gap, and it's proved. Have they won a game? Have Southampton actually won a game? They beat Ipswich up away from home. And they beat Everton on the first game of the season. But apart from that, mate, it's all losses and draws. It's just not good enough. Anywhere near good enough. If you look at Ipswich's form, though, they were like 2-3, 2-1. You know, like give it a good crack. And I tip them to come straight back up. I think they've got a good enough team to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the spoils is shared at Goodison Park, which will not be seen for very much longer. Obviously, they get a new stadium next year. I'm looking forward to visiting that. Leicester hosted Southampton. Good old Jamie Vardy, who I tipped to go to Wrexham. I think he'll go to Wrexham.
Yeah.
In the championship. I'll shoot him to the ground, I think. And Ayew scores 2-0 to Leicester. Not really a lot to talk about, mate, to be fair.
Not really.
No. Kind of expected, although Southampton did have more ball possession. And
I think I said that I fancied Southampton actually, but I think so.
What, last week?
Predictions.
You know, you want about that last man standing. I took West Ham. I honestly thought they were nailed on. I didn't think Spurs were going to turn up. I took West Ham. I'm absolutely gutted. I thought I was going to win it. Honestly, I had some mint pigs left. Obviously, I kept Man United.
I was playing them.
I thought we were playing the Toon. I thought we still had the Toon to play at home. That's why I was keeping them. Billy Noble says, love them and the Borough. Well, you'll not get both of them, but you might get one, mate. Josh Watson, be shocked if Ipswich go and walk the championship next season. They set themselves up this season to come straight back up next season if they go down this season. Excellent manager, McKenna, as well. Of course he is. He comes from the United breed, mate, so you expect nothing different. And I expect, like you, for them to come straight back up.
Mhm.
The 5:30 kickoff on Saturday, Gary, was Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2. Declan Rice scores again with an Odegaard assist. And then a Semenyo assist for Hodgson and Evan Nielsen, who got his red card rescinded against Man United, even though he was sent to the VAR to have a look, and he agreed. So let's talk about this quickly. Evan Nielsen, a lot of Bournemouth fans are unhappy. That could have potentially been 2 points dropped for them in the race for the Europa League or the Conference League. Surely they've got to get that right, Gary. You know, like, the referee might get it wrong, but to be sent to the screen and still get it, surely the referee's got to come away from that and go, listen, thanks for bringing this to the screen, but he slipped and it's not a red card, and I'm not changing my decision. Keeps it as a yellow, yes or no?
I mean, I get what you're saying.
What?
Where's he gone? No, I get what you're saying, but we're not shocked though. Again, it's refereeing decisions again, isn't it? Like, there's no one knows what's going on, man. It's absolutely crazy, this league. Like, look at the goal. Have you seen the goal and all? That Evan Nielsen goal, because he scores the winner. I mean, to me, that looks like it comes off his arm all day of the week.
Uh-huh.
Like, so
but when it's got to be replayed hour and hour again,
the summer,
isn't it? It's got to go and look. You know, I didn't see it in real time. I'm not watching it for 5 minutes for you to look, is he handballed or not? Let's get the goal. Football, that'll happen. The reason that they took so long was because you cannot score with your hand. You know, like if it hits his hand, hits his foot and goes in, then it doesn't even take that long. But because it goes in direct off his hand, they had to make sure. But when it's got to take that long, you're just interrupting the game, aren't you?
Well, definitely are.
Massive interruption. Just give it. Or don't give it. It's as simple as that. Because whatever you choose to do, you're gonna get scrutinized anyway.
1,000,000%.
Keep the game flowing. Is the refereeing quality in the Premier League so bad, or do you think they're putting so much politics and rubbish into it that they didn't have that coming or going?
I definitely think it's a bit of both. They've made the rules like that complicated. Like, no one even knows like what you can and cannot do. For me, if the ball hits your hand, it's a foul. If there's daylight, it should be offside. And just going back to being simple.
Well,
instead of complicating everything.
The Wenger rules are apparently coming in next season.
Well, it should. It should. I think.
Do you agree with that?
Aye, 1,000,000%. Because you want to see more goals in the Premier League, don't you? That's why you get to football matches, because you want to watch goals, don't you? So I'm all for that. Like,
aye, well, it's years ago. Obviously, you had to give the advantage to the forward rather than the defender, because obviously it should be. It's harder for you to score than what you've got 4 defenders against apparently two strikers. So it always went with the advantage of the striker. Then they changed it to this toenail offside. I just think it's absolutely pathetic. Defender should never be, like, realistically, it's 4v2 at the back. You should never get beat. Like you should be thinking ahead of the game. But I'm for it as well, to be honest with you, Gary. I think it's a great rule. Got to be daylight. Give the advantage to the strikers again, and we'll see more goals. And we might even stop seeing this tippy-tappy football that we see. Like, everybody's adapting it, where I didn't get this, and I'm never getting this, the goal kick, where the defender passes to the goalkeeper. I get the fact
that one that we do every single day. every day of the week.
And how many times have we been caught out?
Look, Sean, 10 times since he's come back.
We get caught out. It's just absolutely bonkers. So I'm all for it, like, definitely. Then let's move on to Sunday. Unfortunately, the first game that pops up on Sunday is Brentford 4, Manchester United 3. Mason Mount scores, which is I was over the moon for. Obviously, I wasn't there. I was doing Skegness with the kids. You went though with your kids, and you said it was one of the best away ends that you'd been in, and which I'm not surprised at because they're the best fans in the world. I'm not, I'm not beating about the bush there. They are by a monkey mile, honestly. Luke Shaw, away fans, should I say, away. Luke Shaw scores an own goal, ones each. Shard scores 2-1. Half time comes. He pulls a few changes in. He brings on Euro, Diallo, Ericsson. It doesn't help. Shard scores again, 3-1. Wissa 4-1. And at this point, the away end's gone mental about Bilbao, isn't it? How does the Bilbao song gone?
Follow, follow, follow. Because United are going to Bilbao.
There'll be thousands of heads. We'll be on our heads because United are going to Bilbao. Anyway, we're getting into the 80th minute. There's 10 minutes remaining. The United players must have been thinking, Jesus, you heard these, and we're getting beat 4-1 off Brentford. And they just turn it on. Garnacho, Bosch, 4-2. And then Diallo comes on, Bosch, 4-3, assisted by Ugarte. Special mention to Ugarte, who played absolutely unbelievable. It ends 4-3, mate. And to be honest with you, were you expecting anything when you went down?
I thought we might win the game, to be honest. When I was looking forward to watching the young striker and stuff. I thought we might nick it 2-1, but they were putting dangerous balls into the back post. They had a game plan. They looked at our starting lineup. That shot, he jumped the fullback and the young centre half twice for the score. But they targeted that because every single cross went from their right hand side across to our back left. So, and we couldn't defend it. Top and bottom, but I mean, we actually played all right. We didn't play that bad, and we scored like some really good goals. The Mason Mount goal was excellent. Broke from the halfway line, cut across the box, and then boom! Like we haven't scored a goal like that forever. But I don't know if you watched it back, how selfless Garnacho was on Sunday. The amount of times he gets the ball, and every single time he was looking for someone. He's had someone drilled into him the last few weeks, but he was excellent on Sunday, I thought. And you've got the other team. Maybe it's that they didn't get on or some of that. I don't know, but the player he definitely was playing as a team player the other day. Like he ran his arse off. He really did.
When I noticed something, I kind of focus on it more, and I've noticed that Hoyland seems to be a bit of a bully boy towards Garnacho. Now, when he doesn't pass,
throwing the hands up
all the law, and you can see him, he's screaming at him all the time. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't pass to you neither. Honestly, you couldn't score in a brothel, mate. There's no way I would pass you the ball. You're absolutely useless. So I don't know where he gets his confidence from, Hoyland, because he absolutely screams at him. And maybe that's what Garnacho has needed. There's a different striker to target. I'm pleased for him. I'm pleased for him. I would like to see him. I like to see all the young players doing well. So, and it's gutting, should I say, that Hamas and Fredrickson were put in. They were put in obviously because we're concentrating on the semi-final, right? The return leg. But away to Brentford is hard for any team. I'm about who we are. You could have an absolutely fantastic clean sheet record. You get to Brentford and they'll score. They score at home most games. So when you put Hamas and Fredrickson, the two littleish lads on the left, of course they're going to target that area. Of course they are. Who wouldn't? You'd be an absolutely useless manager if you didn't target that. You're going to target that side every time.
He gave him a tough afternoon, but a good experience for them, though, isn't it? It's good experience for them. And I mean, all the way fans on the way doing, saying the same thing, it was refreshing to see the young lads come out, and
you'd rather say that, wouldn't you, mate?
You'd rather say it, aye.
100%.
Great.
Moving down.
Still had a good afternoon anyway.
Nah. It wouldn't have spoiled mine either. I don't let the football spoil it anymore. Brighton won, Newcastle United won. Newcastle get lucky again with another VAR decision. And Minter scores for Brighton in the first half. Isak gets a penalty 1 minute before the end of time. and he obviously converts it. It's ones each. The spoils are shared. Are you seeing Minta's celebration? What was all that about?
No, I haven't seen it. No. Yeah.
He runs away and he's like, honestly, 14 of them blokes are on the bottom of the screen.
Same language.
Aye, that's how bad it was. Like,
it might have been. He might have been telling the tune like so something. Look what you've missed on.
What he was actually trying to get at. I would like to know in the comments, please, because it was kind of mental. But the spoils are shared. A good point on the road, an excellent point on the road for Newcastle, I must say, because if Newcastle lost that game, it puts them on 62 points, right? Whereas they got the point and it puts them on 63. But because of the goal difference, you might as well say they're on 64. Whereas if they're on 62, the teams that are below them are on 60 and 61 and 63. Obviously, they would have been above them. But then a win for either of them teams takes them all above Newcastle. Whereas if Villa win, if Newcastle and Chelsea draw, if Villa win and Forest win, Newcastle stay in that position because of their goal difference. So I think that point might actually prove really, really like vital for them come the end of the season.
All right. No, it's a midway point there. I'm sure Gallen was saying that the Toons never won at Brighton, like, so they'll be happy to come away with that.
Oh, definitely, mate. It's a hard run to guarantee. It's like Brentford, isn't it?
It is.
There's your Tom in. All right, lads. Melly, you recovered from Skeggy. Haha, by the way, we are shit. I'll tell you, we went down to Skeggy with the youngins for their first ever tournament, Butlins. And I would recommend it anybody that's got kids to go into Butlins, because once you're in the park, the safest users, they kind of get off. They've got fairgrounds and everything to go into, and it's fantastic. The accommodation is a bit like Shameless. It is quite bad. But I still wouldn't let that put you off, because you can get caravans and stuff. We went on a football tournament, War Melvin's team. We were put in the older age category, unfortunately. We were in Tom's young'uns age group. You've seen the difference between Jack and Melvin. There's a canny difference. Do you know what I mean? And that was most of the players. So they did all right. I mean, we lost 5 and they drew 1. But we didn't let that spoil the weekend. And I would just, if anybody's watching that's got a young team, I would definitely recommend going to Skegness, because once the football's finishing, going back in there, the kids all go and play. You can sit and have a drink. And they were presented with the trophies of Paul Merson at the end of the night. It was great. And I spoke to him afterwards and asked him if he would come on the Talk and Turf podcast show. And he said, absolutely. So I've been in touch with him and I'm just waiting on a date. So we'll get Mercer on, because I know he loves the tune, Gary.
Oh, he does. He
does.
You'll not want to talk about Man United.
He doesn't like Man United, but you know, we'll get him on. It'll be good crack to have him on. Ending Sunday was Liverpool were taking a trip to Stamford Bridge. Liverpool now obviously know for certain that Alexander-Arnold is leaving. You can't really blame him, you know, like the single song, he'll never walk alone, and they're absolutely battering him on X, you know, like saying he's a Judas and stuff like that. He's done all he can do with Liverpool. They've won the league, they've won the Champions League. Let the lad go on. You know what I mean? Let him go on for Philly's dreams and play in Spain. Why not?
He's won everything, hasn't he? He's won everything, and it's a nice lifestyle. You've got to think. You've got to remember, you know, he grew up as a Scouser on a council estate. Let him go and live the life in Madrid now for a few years with his mates. Like
100%.
I cannot say out against him doing that. Like, it's meant.
Aye. Billy Novoselic wants back at the tune, saying here is not where I want to be. That's a bit naughty, like, if that's what he was meaning, like. He's also saying it's going away that counts. Butlins is class. I would 100% recommend it, says your Tom. Not that one. Lads, well done, mate. It's all about experience, definitely. He's given 20 years. I hate the bin dippers. Only Judas is Van Dijk nicking another contract. I think you're right. And they're going to rename Anfield Barchester. Careful, I think. Salah getting massive contracts, whereas the rest of the team seem to be bringing youngins through, you know, like, and whereas they're clinging on to them, you know, like, move on.
Very surprised at that, like.
You're going to give them 350 grand a week, like, are they worth that?
They were this season, but will they be next? You've seen like the drop off that players have, and they'll be no different. They'll be no different.
Gary, you've seen the drop off in Liverpool in the last 2 months. Have they had
No, that's
title
what I
back
mean.
up as early,
Mhm.
really, and the teams hadn't been support behind them, they would have lost that title this year.
Someone would have caught
100
them.
million%. They've been shit. The bit of pressure on them, I'm being shit. Honestly, I look like an absolute idiot saying that. I'm not bitter, but they've been crap the last couple of months. Is what I mean. They haven't been the team that they were, and that proved on Sunday. Although they weren't playing for nothing. Fernandes scores for Chelsea. Quansah scores an own goal. Van Dijk gets one back, 2-1, and a special mention to Cole Palmer, who played. Did you watch the game? Absolutely unbelievable. I reckon he'll come to Man United. You know, he's a Man United fine. And Chelsea are in big deal with FFP, mate. And they're going to have to get rid of some big. Aye, they are going to get absolutely hammered, mate.
Aye, no, that would be interesting.
Cole Palmer.
Because he is a United fan.
Kuna. Couple of defenders. Oh, we're going to dominate for
Title church. Yes. In the Champions League.
Put a price on a 30-goal a season forward. Fair dues. I was in the taxi going to Everton, right? And a Liverpool fan, I don't know if I've told this story, and he was saying, I hate Mo Salah, he's always keeping Curtis Jones and that out. All he ever does is try to take people on and fucking lose it. I says, mate, are you seriously saying that to us? And he got, I says, I never ever thought I would hear that coming out of a Liverpool fan's mouth. He was going, no, mate, honestly, I'm telling you. He said his day, I'll let him go tomorrow, mate. He says, get Curtis Jones and Harvey in. Why not? The young kids. And I thought,
top goal scorer in the Premier League for the last 3 years.
You're definitely an Everton fan, but like portrayed to be a Liverpool fan here. You've got to be.
Got to be.
Say what you want to put him, but he's a danger, isn't he? He's a threat.
Oh, aye. Everyone has it on his left foot, but you can't stop him.
Nah, definitely not.
You cannot stop him.
I didn't think I would have surrendered to his demands, mind. I think I probably would have let him go, no matter how good he is. United did it with Beckham and etc. Ronaldo. You've got to let them go, haven't you? You've got to move on, and you can move on.
Yeah, eventually.
Right, you can move on. I just didn't think Liverpool's got that recruitment. I think they're as bad as us off the field as do you know what I mean? I really do, mate. I think they've got trouble ahead, but they're getting their second Premier League title anyway. So they're only 11 behind with new. So we'll move on to Monday night, which seen Melvin go out of last man standing. I didn't want to get in. I didn't want to influence him, right? Because I have in the past, and he's gone out. So he picked up the way to Crystal Palace, and I was like, hey, if that's what you want, that's what you got with. I didn't ever see Forest getting anything from this game with Palace's form, mate. Did you?
No, I didn't. I did notice when you said that he picked Forest, like, and I was looking, and I thought it's a hard game for anyone. That, and Forest haven't like been the best really lately, have they? So I 1-1 share of the spoils on it, but Barnes is out.
Both the Barnes out. The only Barnes that's left. Libby Barnes has just got a clue with football.
There you go.
Says I'm picking your next team, and I want half the money if we win, right? Because I'm paying the tenner. Yeah, you're not. Billy Noble says they'll have a drop-off clause in each of their contracts. I tell you what it is, how I was doing in what do you call it? Mate, I was sure I got sunstroke. I've been sniffing all weekend. My head, I think that happened in Bournemouth, you know. And it's just every time the sun hits it, just knocks us for 6 again. Absolute 6. Look at this. Look at this.
You should have had a cap.
Oh, I need more than a cap. I think I might get the dots tattooed, so it looks like I've got some hair at the top. Anyway, Palace draw with Forest. Forest slip up in the race for the Champions League. Eze scores the penalty, and then Murillo scores, but then obviously he gets injured and he gans off. That could be a big loss to them if he's out for the rest of the season. As well as, who went off? Was it William? Dominguez.
Dominguez, yeah.
I think he's out for the season as well. 2 big losses that, if it is.
It is.
And that concludes the Premier League week of 35. So what we'll do is we'll hit the ads quickly, and then we'll come back and we'll give you our predictions. We've got the Champions League tonight and tomorrow night. You've got the Europa League on Thursday and the Conference League, and then we've got the Premier League at the weekend. We'll be back in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. See you soon. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary. It's only $5 a show, and we're hitting on average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets and Bed, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets and Beds. Laying our reputation, one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialise in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. And last but not least, Most Cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 07787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Mo's. And where's Gary gone? And anyway, I'm forgetting to add on again, Lee's Handyman Services. Obviously, I've been away all weekend. I've been away all weekend, so I haven't gotten a chance to put it on. But Lee's Handyman Services, he'll move you, he'll trim your bush, he does out. One call does it all. Get onto him. He's on Facebook, Lee's Handyman Services. Gaza B 2020 has silenced the mic, so I can only imagine that he's given the bands rang. Budget cars. What you been sniffing all weekend? Like, sounds like a good weekend. Honestly, I haven't actually done nothing apart from being in the sun, and it's absolutely hammered us. And I mean hammered us. I've never been so, like, it's never been so warm. And I've woke up snotty. I think I put it down to them apartments in Skegness. Fantastic. But the apartments are rough as out. Honestly, really rough. I was waking up and I was full of crap, and I just couldn't be bothered. Saturday night I had to take myself home because it was that bad, you know. So it's not good. Anyway, we'll move on. So in the minute we've got Inter Neil, Barca Neil. It's obviously crazy Aggregate. Lamine Yamal, a 17-year-old, absolutely was fantastic in the first leg. He has Inter attacking now. Gets it took off him. Hands back to the goalkeeper. But I think the winner of them is going to play PSG. I think they're going to be too strong, Gary, for
Arsenal.
Aye. I really do. So I think the winner of this will play PSG in the final, and I think PSG will go on to win it. I think since they're getting rid of Mbappe, mate, they've become a unit. And Mbappe has gone to Real Madrid and showed that you didn't need to buy superstars to be successful. PSG against Arsenal tomorrow night. How do you see that, Gan?
I'd like to see Arsenal have a go. And that Thomas Partey, he'll be back for tomorrow because I think he was suspended last week. He makes a difference because I think he allows Rice to get further forward. And Odegaard, but I think Arsenal's going to give them a game tomorrow. I hope they do. I hope that the Gannon have a go and Devon just Gannon stay in the game. Gannon have a game. Gannon try and win it. Devon Gannon just try and equalise. Gannon try to win it, and that's what everyone wants to see. But maybe
the best form of defence is attack, isn't it?
Just Gannon for it, aye. Just Gannon for it. That's what I hope we'll get to see. But I'm going to say a 2-1 Arsenal, and it's going to get extra time.
Do you think it's do you think Inter or Barcelona win the night?
I think Barcelona are too much for them.
I'm watching it. It seems to be 50-50 at the minute. It's but that Yamal is just an absolute tank, and he made
17-year-old season and all.
Absolutely class. So you're going to go for Barcelona and Arsenal in the final?
Yep.
I'm going to go for Inter and PSG, the complete opposite of you. You should really support your British home teams, but I absolutely hate Arteta with everything I've got. I just do not like the man. So I'm going to go for PSG and Inter. I think Inter will keep it tight tonight, and they'll nick a goal, and then that'll be it. It'll not be 3-0 tonight. It'll be 1-0 or 2-1, I think. Billy Noble saying, it's worth extra for a better gaffer Butland. Billy, I paid the best you could get, and it was still honestly, it was still like being in a touring caravan that you find on the side of the road, mate. Honestly, it was absolutely gosh. It was that bad. Most of my parents went out and bought Dettol and cleaned their apartment before they put any of their clothes away.
Hold on. You've just told everyone to take their kids to Butlins about 10 minutes ago.
You're not staying in your apartment. The state didn't let the accommodation put you off. There used to be old army barracks. Did you know that back in the day? There's a helpful tip for you. There used to be army barracks back in the day, and it's set out like that. Like when my dad told us the day, I thought, actually, you know what it is? That's exactly what it's been. Army barracks. But you're not staying in your apartment. You know what I mean? That's so much to do outside your apartment. You're literally just sleeping there. I'd get a caravan. If you got a day out, get a caravan. Liam Harper's on. Hello, Liam. Well done. PSG Inter for me as well, he says.
Hello, Liam.
Europa League, Thursday night. Bodo Glimt against Tottenham. Tottenham go in with a 3-1 advantage from the first leg. How do you see that going, Gary?
I'm going to say a 2-1 Bodo Glimt. I think it'll be decent to
Bodo Glimt.
I think Spurs will. I think so. I hope it's not. I hope Bodo Glimt get 2 out, but I think Spurs will. They might be too strong.
I don't know. I think I've been absolutely tanked this season. I think that was a one-off result. I think Bodo Glimt will probably win. They'll go for it. It'll be 3-1. It'll end up going to extra time and pens.
I hope it is.
It could go either way. Manchester United against Bilbao, Atletico Bilbao. Let me just quickly talk about the previous fixture, Gary. 3-0 to Manchester United.
What a night. Oh, what a night.
I'm telling you, you know what? We are optimists, right? And a lot of people said, I've got a man sent off, and that's how you went through. But when a goal is allowed in the 6th minute, Casemiro scores in the 30th, and then they have a man sent off. That obviously helps with. Bruno Fernandes gets the penalty. He converts it. But the reason he got sent off was because he kicked him. If he pushes him, he gets a yellow card. But because he kicked him, it has to be a red. And that's why he gets sent off, which means they're missing him for the return leg and also the striker who's out for the season. Fernandes converts the penalty, made 2-0. Fernandes then again on the 45th minute on the stroke of half time. Bush, 3-0. The game's over, and we're treated as a training session after that. And a lot of teams probably would have went for the kill, 4-0, 5-0, but they didn't. They kept it 3-0. Is that enough to see us through? And how do you see this Thursday's game going, Gary?
I think to be honest, I thought Bilbao would be better than what they were. I thought even like before they got the man sent off, I thought like we were going to win that game. But going into it, I was saying that I would have been happy just to come away with even a point, or even maybe 1-0 to them, just try and stay in the game. But after the first 10, 15 minutes, I thought I had a feeling that we were going to win that game regardless, mate.
You know, when you were Man United, you know, like what kind of game you're going to get, definitely after the first 5, 10. We've said this, Halsey, like for a while. And United turned up and they're bringing a 3-0 deficit back to Old Trafford for Atletico Bilbao. I think will be too much for them. I think Bilbao will come out and they'll give it a go. And I think we'll break them.
Pinch one. I think that's
we'll break them, and it'll be 1 or 2-0 at half time. We'll be able to get back home for 11 o'clock. Hey, lad, here we go. Did Martin Gallen's in, lad. Here he is. He went away, spent $2,000 on a box for the top of your car. You know where you sleep in. You put the box on top of your car, bought the awning, got the cooker, got the extension for this side, the ladders, the brand new ladders, duvets, quilts, the whole shit.
Didn't sleep in it.
The way they went down the Windermere, freezing that tits off the first night. Went booked into the hotel for the remaining 2 nights. It's on Ashton's Everything Must Go there, half price if anybody wants it. It's a $10. You can tell he's coming to money, like, because I tell you what it is, the Gallen now from 20 years ago would have stayed in that all weekend. Look, mint. They had like a curry and all that. You know, they were cooking a curry, sitting red hot weather all weekend. You know, like, get a sleeping bag, pillow, you know, like, just make the most of it, enjoy it. He says he pulled up, he's the only one in the tent box.
He's looking across the road, Ronnie, and there's nice hotels. People sitting inside having a slap up meal. He's gone, fuck. Nah.
Hey, honestly, only him. Yeah, you Elliot Chastrenot and yeah, evening, lads. Bilbao 4-0, he says. Martin Gallen.
Must have a hangover from that weekend away.
He's definitely got something. And they've got to come at us, Melly, says Liam Harper. But that's one thing for certain. They've got to come at us. He's laughing. He sees the funny side of it. Right. So moving on quickly, just on the Friday and on the Thursday, there is a Conference League tie. Chelsea are playing Judge Garden or something. They're already 4-1 up. That's probably dead and buried. Chelsea are through to the final of the Conference League. But who will they meet? Fiorentina or Betis, mate? Betis have got a player playing for them who is like a Lamine Yamal. Let's not beat about the bush. He's you know,
he couldn't trap a bag of sand at Man United.
He couldn't trap a bag of sand at Man United. He scored with his right foot, left foot, outside of the box, inside the box, corners, the whole shebang. Like, where's this come from? He's gonna end up getting us more than what we'll get for Rashford at this point.
I hope so. I hope that's exactly what happens, but I didn't want him back.
Do you think the likes of Barcelona and that would look at him?
Nah.
Well, he's doing it in their league though, Gary.
And that speaks massive volumes for me. That though, it's he's getting more time and space. I mean, fullbacks are just stand them up across here, and he didn't know what to do. They just take the ball off and push him away. Like it's total different league. Let him stay in Spain. I hope Barcelona can get him. Like, we'll do a swap with him in Yamal.
Rafinha.
Honestly, I'll take any of their players for him. Any of them. Any of them.
So who do you think will win that? Fiorentina or Betis? Betis are 2-1 up, mate, from the home tie, but obviously they're away from home. They could travel out to Italy for the return leg. Who do you think goes through and plays Chelsea in the final?
I think it'll be a draw. So Betis, I think Betis will get it.
Betis and Chelsea in the final. Who win it?
Chelsea.
Man United and Spurs in the final. Who win it?
Man United.
Oh, you nearly got absolutely just wiped clean off the screen there.
Spurs cannot win that one. We're the kings of winning trophies. Spurs don't know how to do that. But I did see a stat that said the last time when Liverpool won the league, that was the last time Spurs won the a cup or something like that. Not this time.
Jesus. Right, moving on.
They're not going to get past Bodo Glimt, so they cannot.
Eh?
They're not going to get past Bodo Glimt, so they cannot.
Actually, will not fly through, Gary, because on the Thursday, it's the start of the playoffs in the Championship. Let me touch on this. Well done to Wrexham for coming up to the Championship. I think that they get a few Premier League proven players in there, they could actually come up to the Premier League. £2 million paid for the club, now worth over 100 million. And that Wrexham is absolutely bouncing. Employment has never been so good. The money coming into Wrexham has never been so good. The people of Wrexham are absolutely flying. It's brilliant. It's exactly what you want to see. It is a Netflix Disney show. And what they have done with Wrexham Football Club is nothing short of amazing. So well done to Wrexham. The Championship, though, to get up into the Premier League, you've got Bristol City against Sheffield United on the Thursday. How do you see that one gone?
I think Sheffield United too much. I'm going to say Sheffield United 2-0.
I hope so. Get some another Northern team up. We've obviously got Leeds in Burnley.
Bristol's a good away, actually. Man City, Bristol. You fly from the tune.
Coventry and Sunderland are in the other tie on Friday night. How do you see that gone? Coventry at home the first leg.
I'd like to see Sunderland in that.
That's true. 1-0. Oh, you nearly missed it now. Lautaro Martinez.
Oh, I thought he went off with his hamstring in the first game.
Open net, mate, and I don't know how it looked like he was going to miss it. But they've scored. It's 1-0 in now. Coventry Sunderland, how do you see that, Gan? Did you say?
I'm saying Sunderland struggled the last few weeks. I think it's a tough game for them away. They've just got to stay in the tie. I think Coventry 1-0 though. Coventry
1-0. I think the same, mate. I think Sunderland have struggled, but I think they've had all their eyes on this, so they're going to put everything into this. There's 180 minutes of football that could potentially get you to the final to play a Sheffield United or Bristol City, where you've got to fancy yourself. They should have beat Sheffield United. You know, like the winnable game. They could come up. Are they ready to come up? Probably not. But will they come up? Of course they will. Absolutely.
Since they missed them 2 pens, they're not against Burnley. They've just went tits up.
Aye. Yeah. I like the striker. I like young Chris Rigg. 10-0 to Coventry, says Billy Noble. Martin Gallen says he must have something. He paid 90 million for him. Oh, he's got something, but just not for the Premier League. Gallen, I'll just reiterate my point that playing for Manchester United isn't for everybody. It is the biggest club in world football. You come to our club, the expectancy level's up there. You can go to Newcastle and that, and it's not as high. But for United, it's up here. And some players can't handle it, mate. Moving on to Saturday, the Premier League returns. And it starts at Fulham v Everton. How do you see that gone, mate?
I think Fulham win. Home win 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to mirror you, Gary. I'm going to go 2-1 as well. Ipswich host Brentford. How do you see that going?
Were you saying Brentford can still make Europe?
They're out of it now. No, they're out of it.
Nah, not really much to play for.
No,
that's it at this stage of the season, isn't it?
Well, I'm saying that out of it. That 8 points behind with 3 games left to play.
Out of it.
Just to put it.
Right. I still think Brentford beat them though. 2-1.
Billy Noble's gone 2-1 to Fulham and he's gone 3-1 to Brentford. And I'm going to say 3-1 to Brentford as well, Billy. I'm going to mirror what you said, mate. Southampton, easy tie for them this weekend. The host Manchester City.
I think it'd be 3-0 to City.
Yeah, I've probably gone for. I might go 1 more. I might go 4-0 to City. I just can't see Southampton being out. Wolves host Brighton. Brighton are the same as Brentford. They're kind of out of it, but they can still actually mathematically qualify.
Sneak in.
Yeah.
I see that being a draw. Wolves have been all right, I think. I'm going to say 1 each.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a stalemate. I'm going to go for 0-0. Bournemouth, who are fighting for they're 7 points behind Aston Villa, but they host them. So a win could take them within 4 points with 2 games left to play. Bournemouth are at home. How do you see that gone?
Villa's got too much to lose. Full week off. I think Villa 2-1.
Oof. Barcelona's just nearly scored. Villa 2-1. Gary, I think you're right, mate. I'm gonna go for 1-0. I think it'll be pretty. What? I think it'll be pretty tight. I'm just gonna go for a 1-0 Villa win though, to keep the pressure on to get into the Champions League. Billy Noble's gone for 4-0 to City. He's gone for a Desmond 2-2 with Wolves and Brighton. And then he's gone for a 1-1 with Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Moving on to the Sunday, where the games really matter. Newcastle, 12 o'clock kickoff. Have you ever heard of that on a Sunday?
Nah, not unless it's in Scotland.
It's 2 or 4 o'clock normally, isn't it? But it's a 12 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. Newcastle are hosting Chelsea. How do you see that, Gan?
I think I can see Chelsea nicking this. I'm going to see a 2-1 to Chelsea.
I'm going to go for 2s each. I don't think anybody's going to actually win it. I think 2s each. And then it's going to mount pressure, that. It's, like Toon's got to go away at Arsenal. If Arsenal are at the Champions League and they lose against Liverpool in the weekend, then they really need to win because the teams have caught them up. They're going to be within a point or 2 points of them. So Arsenal need to put everything into that game. I think Arsenal will beat them. It'll come down to the last game of the season. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a Desmond 2-2. Billy Noble reckons it'll be 4-0 to the Mighty Mags or 3-1. Which one is it, Billy? Which one are you going for? Pick one.
Is it being
Man United. Honestly, they're mad. Manchester United are at home to West Ham. Both clubs with nothing to play for. Manchester United obviously will be in the Europa League final then. So how do you see that, Gan?
I still think you'll put like a half decent side out, and I think that will win 2-0.
Because we've still got the potential to finish the first team outside of the relegation zone. You didn't want to be the manager that finished fourth bottom of the Premier League, because in years to come, people are going to look back at that and look at it and go, Jesus, they were lucky that season. So he still needs points on the board, doesn't he?
Does want to get the 40 points, don't
I'm going to go for 2-0. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Man United. I think Cheeto will get his first goal forward.
He was unlucky at the weekend. He nearly got it
in the stretch for then. Isaac Hatrick, says Billy Noble. He's mental. Honestly, the man's only scored a penalty in the last 10 games or something. Nottingham Forest against Leicester. How do you see that, Gan? Must win for Forest.
And I think they will. It is, I think they will. I think they will as well. I think it'll probably be 3-0.
3-0.
Comfortable win.
Comfortable win. Yeah, I'll go for 2-0. I'll go for 2. I'll not be as harsh on Wood. I like them. Tottenham against Crystal Palace. How do you see that going?
Tough game again. Palace, decent side. I think they're hitting a bit of form. I think they're going to beat Spurs. I'm going to say 2-1.
Sorry, I'm going to mirror you. I was thinking exactly the same, mate. 2-1 to Palace. Tottenham will obviously be in the Europa League then. After getting beat
licking their wounds. If I think if they get out, he'll get sacked or someone will. There'll be big changes at Spurs straight away.
Liverpool are at home to Arsenal. It isn't going to be the parade because they played home on the last game of the season. But the host Arsenal. Arsenal obviously potentially needing to win. Liverpool didn't. They've won the league. How do you see that, Gan?
Who is it to home, sorry?
Liverpool are at home to Arsenal.
Liverpool at home, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Are they going to just roll out or is he? I think Liverpool win that 2-1. I think they'll be throwing everything at this tomorrow night and blow themselves out. I cannot say Liverpool rolling over for them, to be honest. I think they'll want to beat them. 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. Billy Noble reckons it'll be 2s each. Billy Noble thinks Palace will win 2-1, and he also thinks that Forest will win 3-0. So that ties up the Barclays Premier League next round of fixtures. That will be week 36, I believe. Yeah, that'll be week 36. Only 2 weeks left of the Premier League. What are we all going to do in the summer? What are we going to do with the show?
No. The got the club. Is the Club World Cup or something this summer? Is it?
Are you into volleyball now? Should we go and watch the volleyball or something?
Oh, I watching women's volleyball.
We're going to do that. See if there's any coaches there. What do you call it? Yes. So, just quickly though, because obviously the return legs of the playoffs, Sheffield United against Bristol City, Sheffield United at home. Just give us a prediction. Who do you think is going to be in the final of the playoffs in the Championship?
Sheffield United and Sunderland.
And who do you think comes up to the Barclays Premier League?
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United?
Aye.
Sunderland fans, shit.
No, I hope it is Sunderland. I do hope it is Sunderland, but I think Sheffield United.
Sheffield United.
Just because of the form and stuff coming into it, I just think. No, that's the reason.
I'm gonna go for Sunderland. I like a fairy tale story, you know. But listen,
and you've got a Sunderland under your heart.
I just want to see the derby up here for all the lads, you know, like, and everybody wants.
Yeah, half of them didn't want it.
But they deep tune. You know, they'll say that to try and like look. But really, they would look forward to that fixture all season, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
About what they say.
Aye.
Well, listen,
and other people like watching derby, isn't there? Other people like watching them as well.
I just quickly, right? What we'll do is, I'm sure I heard darts there somewhere, but good luck to Dobie on Thursday night. He's got another chance to potentially win. He faces Bunton in the first game, and the winner from Van Gerwen and Humphreys. So he's doing all right, isn't he, Dobie? Have you seen him play lately? He's averaging over 100. If you get these doubles in, I think he can really turn a corner and have a late.
Well, there's still
plenty of games to play. He's playing all right. That's the main thing. And I hope if he's still watching, good luck, mate. And I hope we're on your shirt this week.
We're lucky for him, aren't we? We're lucky for him, aren't we? When he puts on the shirt. That's what he won.
Yes, exactly. So get back on. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming on. We'll see you next week when we're talking about week 36 and also look
forward. That one we're in the final.
And us being in the final. Because United are going to Bilbao.
To Bilbao.
We'll be pissed at our head. Because United are going to Bilbao.